I'd like to thank you, Honorable President, Honorable Chairperson, for the floor. The Arab Republic of Egypt, allow me, just like the previous colleagues, to bid you a warm welcome and to congratulate you on the presentation of this report, which is very important. Allow me as well to present to you, put to you a series of questions under the framework of my mandate as a special rapporteur of refugees and asylum seekers, as well as immigrants and displaced persons. I'd like to talk about refugees and asylum seekers. They recognize the right to political asylum for people who are persecuted, who do not. So they are political refugees. The principle to not forcibly repatriate, and Egypt has signed and ratified the United Nations Convention on Refugees, the 1951 Convention. I request the delegation to provide detailed statistics on refugees and asylum seekers in Egypt. The Commission has taken note of the new law of 2024 on the asylum of foreigners, and the Commission congratulates Egypt for having adopted that law. However, the Commission expresses its concern regarding the incompatibility of four provisions of this law to international standards that are applicable to the issue of refugees. We are also worried with the fact that the High Commission of the United Nations was not involved, as well as the civil society organizations, although these parties are stakeholders on the issue. And the law, another question, the law setting up a commission of refugees, like you said, Honorable Chair, and this commission has attributions, and it considers asylum requests and provides services to refugees. The delegation, I request the delegation to explain to us why there was not executive regulation for refugees, although for 1 year now since it was adopted, because this situation ensures that the refugees will not have the necessary protection. On the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Egyptian delegation, according to sources of the civil society, there's a maximum period of stay for refugees to regularize, and that's 6 months, and that is very short, whereas there are procedures to quickly and neutrally consider the request or the application of asylum in Egypt. What measures have been taken in case there is a delay? Are there measures to provide justice for refugees before these bodies? The admission criteria to quickly consider the requests for asylum, on what are the method or approach chosen for this? Is there a means to deliver justice, and can they appeal before the judicial bodies, judicial and parajudicial bodies? On the other hand, the Commission is aware of the major challenge that Egypt is facing in an unprecedented context, whereas there are cases of enforced displacement. We're going to ask questions regarding the measures that have been taken to protect the refugees and to avoid all forms of discrimination. The allegations according to which there's detention and the arrest of these refugees. you have women refugees who are sexually assaulted. They are deprived of justice because there is no investigation on these allegations. So we request the delegation to provide details on these allegations and on these accusations. And finally, the Commission would like to appreciate not to set up or open refugee camps. So it requires the delegation to know if it's aware of the decision of the African Union on refugees, as well as the asylum seekers in economic systems. That's resolution 56 that requests that this category should be incorporated into the life of the country. I'm talking about now the internally displaced person. The report doesn't provide any information on that, and no information on the legal framework that governs the situation. So we request the delegation to provide comprehensive information on the ratification of the Kampala Protocol on internally displaced persons in Africa, especially as there is a growing impact on changing climate change. We want to know the measures taken to limit the number of internally displaced persons. I'm going to talk about immigrants now, because according to the report, Egypt has ratified the International Convention on the Protection of Rights of All Migrant Workers. Is the government considering to lift its reservations, and also like to specific information on the legal framework that governs migration in Egypt? We also request that what are the specific and practical measures that have been taken to prevent and combat discrimination against migrants in Africa, especially as the allegations that according to which the arrests have been made of immigrants, especially Sudanese, who are living there arbitrarily, who have been arrested arbitrarily, and they don't have any contact with the outside world. So we also request the Commission to tell us if it's aware of the guiding principles adopted in 2020 by the African Union concerning immigrants and refugees. Finally, I'm going to talk about the last part of my intervention on statelessness, because the Commission notes that the report does not provide any information on stateless persons, as well as laws that govern this issue. Does the government consider ratifying the 1954 United Nations Convention relating to the status of stateless persons? And is there any legislation or laws relating to statelessness in Egypt? Finally, the Commission recalls that the African Union adopted in 2024 the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the specific aspects of the right to nationality and the eradication of statelessness. So is the JIT planning to ratify the protocol in order to best address issues related to nationality and statelessness? Thank you, Honorable Chair, for your kind attention.